we're working. It's all working. Hi, everyone. Hi, Northside Hawk. I haven't seen you for a while. What's happening in the footy? Where's Hawthorn? I don't watch the footy anymore, but every now and then someone will tell me a particular team is winning. It's our AFL or Australian Football League, which is just, you kick. It's not soccer. It's the same shape as your football, Enzo, except we kick it a lot more than you guys do. You run with it a lot. You do kick it sometimes in gridiron, but you run with it a lot and pass it, don't you?
Yep.
The football.
Throw it around.
Yeah. So I guess that's why you don't call it football, really, because it's not really. It's only kicked sometimes. That's why it's gridiron. I do like how the gridiron boys look, but there you go. That's just me. Let's see who's here. I spotted some people. Jennifer, hello. You were the first today. And then Tanya, ready, willing, and able, always. And Heather, hello, Heather. I've got to talk to you, Heather, because it's next weekend you won't be here, isn't it, Enzo? Next weekend, I think.
Correct. I'll be leaving this coming Wednesday for my trip and be gone a week.
Yeah. Oh, and Betty, you're here too. So what I might ask, Betty, I don't know what time it is for you now, or Heather. I do know what time it is for Heather. She's in Australia. But I'm just thinking, because while the mouse is away, the cats will play, so I'm a pussycat. I'm just wondering if Heather and Betty would like to come in and do a live with me to replace my wonderful co-host Enzo next week, and we'll have like a girls thing, talk about boys and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Let me know. Dee, hello, and Jaya again, hello. Yeah, it'll be this time, Betty, if that's okay. Yeah. Oh, terrific. Excellent. Because I love Betty. Betty makes the best chicken soup. Just if you ever want to see Betty cook soup, go to her channel and, she talks to us and fix it. And you've got a tidy refrigerator, Betty. Like, Betty opens up a refrigerator to get stuff out, and I'm thinking, oh, gosh, I've got a hunt in my
all jammed in there.
Yeah, my fridge is so full. It's like,
move stuff out of the way to get the stuff in the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Heather's just saying, is Enzo replaceable? No. Enzo is not replaceable, but
it takes two people to replace me next week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh gosh, Maisie Rose, hello, gorgeous lady. Oh gosh, Enzo and I have just been having a little chat. Enzo's got something to talk about, so I'll be playing my Enzo the Science Guy thing a little bit in a little while, but we'll all catch up. So how is everybody anyway? How's everyone been going? I will, Betty. I'll send you the link. I will do it. I haven't made it yet. I'll send you the link in Instagram, I guess. I'll send it in there. I'll send it to you there and you can pop in. And Tanya, how's my Tanya? Maisie Rose, how have you been going? I hope you've got a little bit more energy to you. She gets tired, does Maisie? Oh, hello, Ian. Hi, Ian. I'll stand in for Enzo. I have opinions. It's a girls' weekend, okay? So, I mean, you could wear, you could put on a wig. But, yes, I know you have opinions, Ian. You're very opinionated. Oh, geez, I'm good. No, I like Ian. Let's see. I don't think, have I missed anybody? Because I don't think so. I think we're right. Oh, 13. I hope someone else comes in. Although, what do I say about 13? It is a lucky number. 3 + 1 is 4. And 4 is my lucky number. So there you go.
Yep.
Dear. All right, I'm just checking. I haven't missed anyone, and I don't think so. So there we go. Oh, Betty, hello. You just popped in. Betty Hanks. Hello, Betty. Runs with scissors. I love that. Hi. It's all right. We've just started too. It's all right. We've just started. I do like that name. Something about it just makes me giggle. Dear. Yeah, so I've had a pretty full-on week. I think Enzo's had a busy week, but not full-on. Or has it been? Tell everyone about your week, Enzo.
Well, I mean, I did a couple shows, but mostly a lot of prep work to get ready for my road trip here next Wednesday. Went got my oil changed, tires rotated, Went and finally, after like 2 years that it's been out, I went and got uh, to the state wildlife and parks department here that's nearby me. They have a thing for military veterans now that you can get this pass that allows you free access to recreation lands in the United States for free. It's just the entrance thing. I mean, if you're going to be camping or fishing or anything like that, then that are other fees, you have to pay for that. But for the entry fee, I can get in for free, and it's good forever.
Ah,
And it's free to me because I'm retired military and all. But it's one of those things that one of those perks of being retired military that popped up as a new thing here a couple years ago, and because it used to be you could pay like an annual, you would have like an annual pass to do that if you visited a lot of parks and things like that, but you still had to pay for it. It was like the same as like a senior citizens type discount and things like that. It was
oh,
limited to
yeah,
that.
no, as a retired
And,
serviceman, you deserve much, much
yep,
more. So
they changed it 2 years ago to where it's like, yeah, if you're retired, come on in. It is free.
cool. And it was Memorial Weekend this weekend, or is it this weekend? It was last
Memorial
week.
Day is Monday here in the
Oh,
U.S.
Monday.
Uh,
Yep.
That's it's considered a 3-day weekend for most everybody here in the U.S. Memorial Day different than Veterans Day, where Memorial Day we remember those that gave their all and died in battle, kind of a thing that were in the military. So it's in
Yeah, like our
remembrance.
Anzac Day. And we have Anzac Day and we have, oh God, I've gone blank now, but we have 2 as well. Yeah. Oh, Heather, what's the other one called if you're listening? We've got Anzac Day and then we have another one, like Memorial Day. Yeah, same. But yeah. Yeah, and I was in America last year for the veterans. It's Memorial this
Memorial
weekend.
Day is for military members that have died
Yes. But
in
that's Monday, yeah? Monday.
and that's Monday, and it's in the U.S. That's the official kickoff of summer. So by
Oh,
that time, all the schools have gotten out and things like that. So everybody just goes crazy this weekend, barbecuing and picnics and the whole spiel.
I think it's Remembrance Day too, Heather. I like that. I think. Yeah, Remembrance Day. So yeah, that's what we have. And Remembrance Day for is to remember everybody. Although it's weird because Remembrance Day is in November, the 11th day of the 11th hour, and you have something in November as well. England used to call it Armistice Day.
Yeah, we
I
have.
think we did too.
Yeah,
But, you know, when
yes,
the First World War ended. Yeah.
right.
Mm. Oh, King's birthday. Oh, that's right. We don't have the Queen's one anymore. Gosh, so many holidays. But yeah, that's when it was a culture shock for me to see the memorial parade last year because just everyone shooting off guns. I'm told they were blanks, but it was still like, oh my God, bang, bang, like, and I'm like, oh, don't. Hey, Dr. Deb. Hello. Golly. Yeah, I don't know if everybody. I asked Enzo if he watched because some people tune in to watch my episodes and then politely disappear. So I don't know if everybody watched my episode on the Hookman this week. I worked so hard on that. That was supposed to be out Tuesday, gone, but by the time I kept working on it, and then I was finding all little different snippets that I could put in, like, like the phone call from the Zodiac Killer. I went, oh, that's awesome. That'll fit right in there. And then I found the old footage of the policeman, the detective, and I went, and then I found the footage of the boy that was stabbed, and I went, wow. But I can't. My video is not allowed to be monetized because of the content. So I don't know how true crime channels do anything. Apparently, you've got to be really careful. They don't take my video down, but it's not monetized. And I went, oh, for all the hard work I did, bugger. I blurred out everything for that. If I had known that, but I blurred out the pictures in respect of the dead, not for any other reason. I mean, you can see those pictures online if you go look, but I just thought out of respect for the dead, I won't show that. It's bad enough, the story. Hello, Bud Files. Hello. But yeah, so there you are. Heather's pottering around her house. I've got to potter later on too. I've got some gardening I want to finish off and some housework I want to do and stew to make. I buy very expensive steak now. Cost me $26 for a kilogram. Yeah. And so convert that into American dollars, it's almost 40 something. But the steak is really, it does me 2 big stews. So I cut it 500 grams in each stew, fill it with lots of vegetables, potatoes, carrots, blah, blah, blah. And then that gives me, that's 2 nights of, so when you work it out, feeding 5 people, it's not bad. And the meat is it's really soft. That's why. Well, once a week, Tanya, that's what I get because it does, which I know. Once a week because it does, like I say, I break the kilo in half, and so I'll cook some today, and that's a meal for everybody today, and then again tomorrow. So it does me 2 meals. It's mainly because I fill it all with veggies.
Right.
Veggies are cheap, but yeah, yes. Hello, Steve and Tina. Welcome in. I'm just checking everybody's who's coming in. 19 people. There you go. Beautiful. A lovely little group. So has anyone in the chat got anything to tell me? Anything interesting happening to you guys this week? Maisie, if you're listening, how are you? You always generally have an interesting week. Heather works too hard. Although, sometimes she gets to have fun. What about you, Dr. Deb? Feel free to share. It's all good. And Enzo's going to have a little talk for us soon on what's coming up in the skies above. Oh, Tanya.
Look at that.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Oh. All right, Tanya, which I haven't made any new ones yet, so pick a new. I've really got to pull my finger out. That's what I'll do this week. I'll make some new thank you videos. Which one do you want? Which one, Tanya? You pick. Tanya usually likes the dancing one. If you're slow cooking beef, just use braising steak. Oh no, I don't slow cook it. I chuck it in, and I know, but braising steak's okay. But I chuck it in, and I usually eat within an hour after cooking it, and that's what I mean. It's super soft. So if you do that with braising steak, it's super chewy. But I know what you mean. If I put it in a slow cooker, Ian, yeah, for sure. But I'm an impatient person. If no one's noticed yet, I'm very impatient. I want it yesterday. Dancing one, she says. Dancing one. All righty then. Here we go. There we go. Okay, hang on. I'll remove your little thing so you can see it properly. And then we'll go to there. And this is to say thank you to my beautiful Tanya for helping out. Do you remember the days of the discos? They don't have discos anymore.
It was a little before my time, the actual disco time frame, but I certainly remember. High school class of 1985, so I remember the 80s and 90s.
All right, I did go to a disco in the 70s. I only just, I was a little underage, but back in the day, you could kind of sneak in. I think I was around about, and that's not me snoring or farting, and it's not my tummy. That is Muffin, the snoring Rottweiler, okay? Oh, speaking of which, are you ready? I better let everyone see the little fella. There he is. Whoa, where are we, puppy?
He's like, did you wake up just now? Or he's like,
no, he's asleep. He's asleep on the desk. He's like, oh, what do you want? You're a star, puppy. You're a star. Look, you're even helping us with the vampire.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Tanya. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, blue. I used to go to. We used to have what was known as a blue light disco when I was a teenager. So when I was about 15 or so, the police would put on a disco, and you'd have like it was a proper kid, but it was for kids. So they'd hire out a town hall or whatever, and have a DJ and disco lights and whatever, and you'd go along and dance and canoodle. I never canoodled because I didn't have a boyfriend. I was very, very daggy, or what do you call it? Nerdy. Yeah. So I didn't have a boyfriend, but I enjoyed dancing. And that was about probably 70, 76, 77. But then I went to a real disco after,
Well,
and that was
they
an
had to
eye
do
opener.
those things so that the hook man wouldn't get you.
Hey, well, oh, so the boogeyman wouldn't get me, or the hook man, yeah. Well, see, I was never got by the hook man because I never went parking down Lover's Lane. I was a good girl. Heather, I didn't canoodle either. Yeah. But look at us now, Heather. We're just budding roses, see? I reckon everybody else that did canoodle back in the day, they're probably as ugly as a dropped pie now. That's a saying that I don't know. Do you use that saying, Heather? She's got a I shouldn't say she. They or he or she, whatever. They've got a face like a dropped pie, is what you'll say, which is kind of crude, but you know. Oh, Heather made up for the no canoodling in her 20s. Fair enough. So did I. We all made up for it at some point. Yeah. It was just a way of keeping the kids safe. There was a a couple of policemen, plain clothed, but there'd be some coppers there, and they'd be looking after the kids, making sure there was no trouble and that the kids got picked up and home safely, that sort of thing. So it was pretty cool. What's happened to make you believe or disbelieve in the paranormal? Who, me? Me runs with scissors? I still believe in the paranormal. I'm just not too. I'm just starting to get a little bit. I'm thinking of new ways to investigate. So I haven't been able to go on an investigation for a little while because around here in Queensland it's just shitty. Everybody wants you to go and investigate with groups. They won't allow you to pay money and investigate on your own, and it really annoys me. And if they do, you still have to pay the group rate. So if their group rate is 20 people at $50 each, that's what they want. And I'm like, get stuffed. So I haven't had the chance to do that yet. So I'm going to start planning that though now, like thinking about where I could go, and probably it will be down in New South Wales or back down to Victoria because they're the places that you can go and investigate on your own. Queensland sucks. It's all about them, really badly all about the money here. But I intend to, but I just think it's time to start thinking of different ways to investigate, a different approach. So I'm not going to give too much away on what I'm thinking because I don't want anyone to steal my idea first. But let's just say it's not going to be using talking apps or doing the same old where you go in and go, can you make the light on that turn on, or blah, blah, blah. I'm just finding it so boring now to watch because they're not getting anything. So clearly over however many years people are doing things, unless you're extremely lucky in extremely rare cases where something happens out of the ordinary, they're not getting anything. And the ones that say they are and think, oh, look, it answered, except they're not. They're not getting anything. There's nothing provable. There's nothing that's like pops out and you go, wow, like, wow. And, I know people might say, oh, there's certain, hi, crossover. Hi, hello, Jonathan. I know people say, oh, but I got this or I got that. You know, apart from Jonathan the other night out at his bridge, he got a bloody god awful scream. That was shocking.
Oh boy.
That
Yeah,
was
believe me, I totally agree about changing up the technique and just doing something different because I'm looking to do the same thing myself rather than sitting at home and trying to figure out someone else's video, if it's an actual UFO or if it's a plane or if it's a star or whatever. So much stuff is so easily faked nowadays, or at least presented either incorrectly on purpose or by accident, that I just decided to go out and just do it myself. I'll get my own footage. That's part of the whole van project, which after I get back from this trip next week is going to take a much more serious turn. I'm ready to buy, and I think they're ready to sell. So,
well, there you go.
I'll just go to where, and plus there's a couple of lectures during Contact in the Desert that I almost feel are like specifically for me. One that's, if you're going to do field investigations, what equipment do you take? What works? What doesn't? What things should you look for? It's like, hey, that's me. That's what I want. And then they have a different one on a different day about, thank you. They have a different one on a different day about hot spots like UFO, because it's all UFOs for this conference. There's a little bit of like ancient archaeology stuff in there, but they're going to have a whole panel that's like an hour and a half long, specifically about different hot spots around the U.S., famous ones from the past, and what's happening right now. And it's like, I'll be there taking notes. It's like, all right,
planned out. It'd be pretty cool. I've read your message, Maisie. Maisie, because Maisie's meeting with a few people from Parliament to get some things happening over where she is. So you're exhausted. Well, then rest up and listen to us yabber on, Maisie. It would be interesting to get a deprivation. I've always wanted to, but not to reach the paranormal, just to relax and tune out. I think a deprivation tank would be really good. I've heard of people using that for that very reason. When you're overstressed and all that sort of thing, it just, because you float.
Take one yourself.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't know about for the paranormal, because that's the thing, the human brain. I don't think you can trust the human brain in those instances to be exact with, because we can imagine anything. You don't know what your brain does once you shut down.
Did I just make that up in my head, or did it really happen?
Yeah. But yeah, I've got some. Let's just say it's going to take me a little while to work out, and it's a scientific approach, proper science, like real science. Okay, we're talking real science, not one of these, okay? Because that I can point at my TV or whatever and it'll go off. Okay,
your TV's haunted?
Yeah, it is. Hang on, let me see. I don't know if the batteries are still okay in this. Actually, it's not going off. So I've just made a liar of myself. But do you know what I mean? You can't trust gadgets. Like, they're fun gadgets, but Tanya, you're not going to have enough money left to go and buy yourself some bloody steak. But thank you. I wonder who gets it. All right, let's have a look.
Dr. Deb got it.
Dr. Deb got it, did you? Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thank you, Tanya, and welcome in, Dr. Deb. More dancing for Tanya. So hang on a second. I'll go. Oh my God. I don't like to brand. I'm going right. First, some more dancing for Tanya. And Dr. Deb, I still like my new one. I still like Robert. You're going to get Robert the doll.
Hey, Annabelle. Karen got some more members. Isn't that great?
Oh, wonderful. Chucky, come say welcome to the new members.
Hey, F you. Leave me alone, or you are toast.
Chucky, that's naughty.
Oh, do like my Chucky. I'm proud of that one. Thank you again, Tanya. That's awesome. Thank you. What was I saying? I was going somewhere. Oh yes, the science of it all. I'm just thinking. Like I say, I still have fun watching some of the paranormal groups go out and investigate. Like I like watching the Ouija brothers, for example, and I enjoy watching Jonathan go out to the bridge. If he's still here, he goes out to a bridge near home with his dad, and I still like watching. I've got my favourites that I like to watch, but I do find that nothing has changed at all, really, since back in the day of the ghost hunters. Like it's all the equipment's got a little bit more, gadgety, but it's still all the same old, same old. Is anyone here? Can you make a knocking sound? Can you move that? Can you make that light up? I don't know. It's just boring. It's like it's not working, guys. It's not working. You're not getting anything. There's nothing astounding happening that one can sort of say, well, Jesus, that's what the hell, like, look what we just did on a scientific level, and how did you do that? What science did you use to make that happen? So I'm working on it. I'll let you know my plan, and then I'll go, I won't let you know my plan. I'll just go and do it, and then I'll show you what I've done. If it works, great, and if it doesn't, back to the drawing board. I just think there has to be more.
There's anytime you go out to any, even like the most haunted location, that doesn't guarantee you're actually going to get to see anything. They're on a bad night, might be on holiday or something like that when you show up. But it's certainly one of those things you can't, not every time you go in the woods you're going to see Bigfoot. Not every time you look at the sky you're going to see a UFO. Same thing with ghosts and spirits and things. So
exactly. And that's just the thing, because we don't know what it is. We don't know what these ghosts or spirits are. We don't even know if they're ghosts. We don't even know if it's just someone's imagination. Like, how many times do you see people go in and they hear a noise and they go, oh my God, it's a ghost knocking on the wall or whatever. And it could just be a bloody rat. It could be a raccoon. It has to be something a little bit more than a knock on the wall for me. If it's something distinct, like, what is it? This noise. If that was what come on the wall and I knew there was no one else there, like, I'd think, oh, okay, well, that's different. But that's not what happens. It's usually just like a knock, and it could just really honestly be a nocturnal animal frightened because they can hear your voice and they're trying to scamper. So
right.
That's just how I feel.
That's how those even the most honest TV show they get into that trap of they have to make content in a week and they plan out this big expedition to some famous haunted location and they get nothing. And that's not very exciting to watch. So after you get a couple of those, you kind of might have to spice it up a little bit instead of just being honest and saying, yeah, we've been here a few times and it was very good, but this time we struck out,
What's that? The word haunted should always be used after the word allegedly. Allegedly haunted. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I've been to quite a few places that are said to be haunted. The only place I ever caught anything that was like, what was that, was Waverley in the tunnel. But again, as I've said 100 times, I can't say with 100% certainty that it was not Cassie behind me, because for me, when I heard the noise, I kind of heard it over, like, to my right. But Cassie was just behind, well, not just behind me. She was a little ways back, but Cassie was the one that was directly behind me. I was humming, and then I stopped. And then I heard, and I just thought it was her sort of copying me. Now, she says it wasn't her. So for the rest of my days, that'll always be a question in my mind. But I can't say it was a ghost humming, because it could have been Cassie and she's just done it and not realised. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to throw these things out. I was certainly, when I first heard it, it was like, oh my God. But then that's also what leads me to thinking maybe it was Cassie, because even when I showed Cassie, she wasn't like, no one was excited about it. And I thought, well, you were there with me and you know that there was no humming, so why aren't you excited about it? So that's what makes me think, oh, look, maybe, maybe it was accidentally her and she just didn't want to disappoint me.
I wouldn't admit to that, though. I mean, there's no shame.
I would just say I think it was me, and then cool, done. But I don't know. So who knows? Maybe it was a ghost singing back, and I'll never know unless I can never get back there to test it again, and I would never pay $1,200 American again to go and visit Waverley. That was just way too much. Yeah, $1,200 American dollars. So I don't know what that converts back to for Australian dollars, but nearly 2,000 Australian dollars.
That converts out to a buttload.
A buttload, yeah. Okay. And so I was in the end a bit disappointed with it. Hello, Scott Jarvis from the UK. Hello. And Ria, hello. You've just popped in as well. I'm just keeping an eye on things. Hey, Tanya, that Scots Law thing. That's what Maisie's working on, the Scottish legal system. And then Tanya was saying further up, Scots law is a law in Illinois that makes drivers slow down or change lanes. We've got that law in Australia too. We don't call it Scots law. There's just a law that if you're coming along the road and the police have stopped a car on the side of the road, you slow down to 40 kilometres an hour, which is, I don't know what that is in miles, but you slow down to go around the policeman, because as you know, in America, oftentimes poor old coppers get hit by, how many times do you look at the TikTok or the YouTube and you see a policeman go flying because some idiot? So yeah, don't they have that in New Zealand, Tanya? Oh, JR, thank you, darling. Who gets it? Who's getting who copped a membership? Do tell.
Someone's Blissful Connections got that one.
Oh, there you go. Blissful Connections. Welcome in. All right. Let's see. I'll have to do a different gifting one, unless Jaya wants the dancing again. You can tell me. And I'll do a different membership one. Hang on, membership, and I think I've only got one gifting. I don't know what I've got. Let's have a look. I've only got the one membership one, so a bit more dancing, Jaya. Here you go. And I'll play this new member one because I can always, I'll just play this one. I haven't played it for a while. It's just me as a fairy. Woohoo! Oh, God, Kazza, I've got my eyes shut for 5 seconds. Kazza, sorry I can't stay. Just popping in to say how much I love the Hook Man. Absolutely amazing, Karen. Oh, thank you, Kazza. I worked so hard on it, so thank you for watching. Thank you. Thank you. Well, don't go before I give you a little dance. All right, where are we? Yeah, we'll give her a dance because she's got to go. So there we go. Where's my dancing gone, Enzo? I've just lost it. By the time I muck around, where is it? Oh, there we go. I've got it. Back again. Thank you so much, Kazza. Have a good day, mate. Have a lovely day. Or, yeah, it's day for you, I'm sure. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that some people liked it. Even Enzo said it wasn't bad, my episode. Even Enzo.
I liked it.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get much better at my editing. It's just, I think, I'm not quite sure. Like, I look at other people. I said this last time. I look at other people's videos, and I don't know if it's their microphone. Could be the mic. I don't know if it's the editing program that makes it look different. I'm not sure, but it's a learning process. So, but I'm enjoying it, but it takes such a long time. And then with that last video I put out, had it all set up, I'd done the editing, got everything just precise. And then I hit the, export it to a video. And then I checked that video. When I did that, I must have forgotten to check something further up, and there was an overlay that I'd forgotten to move. So I had to go, and I had to do it all again. So there's pains in the bottom when you edit, but and it took longer because I went down a deeper rabbit hole. I put out a little vote to ask everybody what they wanted me to do next. And people have selected, the winner was the Black-Eyed Children. And I've been looking into that at the moment, but I don't know what I think of the Black-Eyed Children. I think it's a lot of hogwash. But anyway, I'll do a video. I think it's just a lot of attention-seeking people making up a whole heap of rubbish. But that's all right. I could be wrong. Because there are, in my research thus far, and it's only early days yet, there are certain stories from like folklore from thousands of years ago with similar type things. So I thought, well, maybe it's just somebody that in the night, because it was in the 1990s, maybe it's just someone who read one of those strange stories from way back in the end and made up a story that they saw a kid or whatever, So I don't know. I'll get on. I could be wrong, but there you go. What's Maisie working on? I'm working to get equal rights for women and girls into the law, which is the Scottish law system. Also getting equal rights for disabled people to put into the law. Plus whatever we get changed will benefit society as a whole. You shouldn't, it's sad, isn't it, Maisie, that you have to work at getting that done. It should just be done, but she is amazing. She's a hard-working lassie. But yeah, I reckon you'll be right. Consider it a challenge. Apparently cannot chase in the UK is infested with them. Yes. He's referring to the Black-Eyed Children. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot of people on drugs or something. You know me. That's what I mean. I believe in the paranormal. Absolutely, there's far more to our existence than what meets the eye. But I'm skeptical of a lot of things, and I think some people just like jump to conclusions too quickly, or like with pareidolia, they look at a photo and it's very like obscure, but you can, that's an actual normal human reaction to anything you can't quite make out. Your brain will try to make it out for you. So it doesn't mean that what your brain, like, that's a face, or look, that's a little girl. No, it's not. If you have a really good breakdown, it's a shocking photo, and it could just be whatever. I saw a photo once of that someone took of a ghost in a window in Virginia City. And when you look at it, it's actually not. It's a poster. Someone's got a poster in their window, but that went like everyone, oh, it's a ghost looking out the window. No, it wasn't. It was a poster. It was just how the light hit the window, and it, so there's lots of things. It's got definitely drugs. Black-Eyed Peas, yeah. I should see if I can get one of their songs to use for my video. Oh dear. What's the basic premise, Clone?
The stories of Black-Eyed Kids have been around for a long time, and I kind of classify that as almost like just weird humanoid kind of things. That's like your weird Men in Black type stories that have popped up over the years, and just strange people that are just not exactly human kind of stories where there's something obviously very, very wrong with them. And it's the super creepypasta type level with the Black-Eyed Kids, because they're insistent on coming into your home. And it's like the old vampire tales. You have to invite them in to kind of let them in. And there are some stories about people that did, and it did not end well.
And yeah, no, bad luck and death. And Well, to answer your question, Dr. Deb, that's what I'm looking into. Apparently, in 1996, an article was written, can't think of his name off the top of my head. A fellow a journalist or whatever, wrote a story about, I believe he saw black-eyed children. He wrote 2 articles, and then that went on a roll. And shortly after, in England, the Star newspaper, I want to say, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure it was the Star, published it. Sorry about my dog snoring. Published a story on black-eyed children being seen everywhere in a particular part of England, and it's literally just kids with black eyes, like no whites of the eye, no, just black.
Like
Um,
the demons from Supernatural.
Yes, like the demons in Supernatural, exactly. And I thought, okay, so because it's a newish type story from the mid-90s, one has to look into, like you would with the Hook Man, well, why? So I'm looking more back to see why someone would come up with a story like that. Could it be possible it's, I don't know. Muffin, I wish you'd be quiet. I can't, she's too far away for me to pick. Can you hear her? It's very loud. Bloody hell. So I don't know, but I'm going to check it out and see what the links are to historical type stories and see if there is any link. I've never seen a black-eyed child. I've seen people with really black eyes, like that you look at and instantly think, oh, I don't feel nice about looking at that. But they've always got the whites of their eyes. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's interesting too, like you were saying, that they want to be let into your house if they knock on your door, and they're insistent, like, oh, I've got to make a telephone call or whatever. Like, what human wouldn't let a kid in? Oh,
Right.
like, some little kid, black eyes or no, is standing at my door saying, I need to call my mummy. I'd go, oh, well, you better come in then. And hope that they don't have a big carving knife and they're just not a little, a short person or something. I don't know.
Like Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I dig up. Who knows? I mean, it could be I might not dig up much, but I'll certainly do one on it and give my opinion. I saw someone ask a question further up. Where have I? Oh, Ian said the Men in Black would be a good topic. Do you know what? Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I don't know. Enzo would probably know a little bit more about this subject than I, because it's generally always around a UFO sighting. But I
Right.
think I know here in Australia, again, because I haven't looked at the story for a long time, I'm vague on the dates, but it was the 1960s in near where I used to live. I was only a toddler, and we lived in a place called Springvale, which was near to where the high school was that the UFO landed. There was a UFO landing, and the whole school got sent home. It's documented. It's like it was in the newspapers and everything. But the math school teacher saw it, and he was talking about it to the newspapers, and he had a very unpolite visit from American and Australian. Well, he thinks it was definitely an American, army people, and a person in a suit. So, probably, I don't know, what would that be? It was a Yank. It wasn't an Australian. So probably maybe FBI. Oh no, FBI are federal. So CIA maybe. I don't know. So I don't.
Some intelligence agency,
Some
probably.
intelligence agency, and they basically told him, stop talking about it. You didn't see anything. And this is all documented. This is true. Like, he came out
Oh,
and
yeah.
said, and they told him to shut up. They said, keep talking about it, and you're going to be found out as being an alcoholic, and you're going to lose your job. And he wasn't an alcoholic. It was just like, basically, we'll set you up, you'll lose your job, and you'll be a laughing stock. So shut up. And the newspaper story settled down too. So I'm assuming the newspaper was spoken to as well. And back in the day, I guess you could manhandle people. I don't think so much nowadays. I don't know. But I think now, if I had a visit at my front door from someone like that, I suppose it depends what they're threatening you with, doesn't it?
Right.
I mean, but then I'd go, well, okay, Can you say that again while I film you? I don't know. Well, I mean, what do you do? I mean, there are ways of setting
I
things
think that's
up.
why you don't see as much of that kind of stuff, that strong arm type tactics, because everyone's got a Ring doorbell and has a
Yeah.
cameras set up around the place where if somebody like that shows up at your house, you can at least probably prove that they were at least came to your house. You may not have the full conversation, or you may not have them doing some kind of a magic trick to say you're going to disappear like this coin. That old gag. But there are certainly things where they're just plain weird. If the one-stop shop for all kinds of weirdo stuff like that, for cryptids, UFOs, a lot of the original Men in Black stories came out of John Keel's The Mothman Prophecies book, which is it's a good book. I enjoy it. I'm probably going to do a reread of it here pretty soon because I read it as a kid. But that's where a lot of the original stuff, where people would report these guys in suits getting out of dark sedans, and they asked them questions, but it was their interactions with them where it wasn't necessarily, the square-jawed lunkhead guy, threatening you, either, in right in your face or overtly or inadvertently. But these people would invite these people in, and they're like, "Oh, it's so hot. I'm sorry you were waiting outside. Here, would you like? I just made some Jello. Would you like some?" And they offer this person Jello, and they don't know what to do with it. They'd never seen it before. They're like trying to drink it out of the bowl. They don't. Uh, there was another instance where they handed someone some tea, and they gave them a spoon in case they wanted to add sugar, and they're just looking at the spoon like, "What is this thing?" And
Aliens.
it's the same thing with other things. Usually described as extremely pale, no visible hair. They usually wear a hat and don't take it off. So, and there's no like this part of your hair or anything like that. Just speaking in a very strange way, like maybe English isn't their first language, is what a lot of people think. Is they're some darn foreigner.
They're Scandinavian.
Yeah.
Scott's got an interesting comment, and I put it up for a reason. He said he's literally seen someone's eyes go fully black with a pure evil look. Experienced it twice, far scarier than anything paranormal. I will agree with you on that one, Scott, because sometimes I've talked about this before. I was attacked with a knife. I wasn't stabbed, but it was threatened. And I've seen someone's eyes go from a perfectly sort of hazel colour to just black. Not the whites of the eyes, but black, and like a blank. It's almost like a shark. You know how a shark's eyes roll in its head when it attacks something? And yes, I agree with you, Scott. Horrific, like especially in that moment. So I think sometimes, yes, it's pure evil. It doesn't mean that they're a demon. It just means that a part of that person is like, that's what happens. The same as remember the serial killer Bundy. Beautiful eyes until he got angry and you could see that change. It happens to some people. I've seen it in conversations. You have a conversation with somebody, and just it really is. I'll guarantee everybody in the chat's probably at some point had something like that. That's all right, Dr. Deb. I'm over the trauma now. But at the time I wasn't. Tanya's awesome. She does a lot. I'm just checking I haven't missed anybody. No, everyone's just saying g'day. Oh, Sky Talker. Hello, gorgeous. Hello. Sky Talker's been making. Oh, I must get those with your permission, Sky Talker. I'll for next week. I'll get those photos of the sock puppets you've been making and show everyone your sock puppets. Sky Talker's been making sock puppets, and they're pretty cute. So I'll show everybody next week. I didn't think about that. I should have brought it up today. What's that? Are you thinking with the black eyes that it could be? Oh, yeah. I think it's just a body response to nasty, horrible thoughts. Just something happens with your eyes, for certain people. That's what I think. Oh, hello, Mrs. Geek. Hello. Love you. Hope you're doing all right. Hope your ma's okay. Grandma. Taylor. Hello, Taylor. Hello. I'm looking forward to seeing Taylor. I can't wait to give her a hug and kiss my beautiful Leica, the dog, and Luke, all of the dogs, and see if there's a bear. Are bears out in summer? I think they are. Oh, Beardo, you're here too. Hello, mate. Hello. Hey, everybody, since everybody's here, I've just got a little announcement to make, because a lot of you heard me talk a while back now, that I had to get a biopsy done on my thyroid gland. Do you remember that? And they were telling me I had to wait and all that sort of thing. And then I went and got a biopsy done, and it came back as, inconclusive. You'll have to wait 3 months. So if I were to wait 3 months, that'd be around about July or so. They would have wanted me to have the biopsy, but little on me that wants it yesterday. I got it. I got it done. I got a new biopsy done on Thursday, and I got the results. And the results are that I do indeed have cancer of the thyroid gland. So I'm going to have an operation to remove the thyroid gland, I'm told, which is really annoying to me, because that means if anyone else has ever had their thyroid removed, you know that because you don't have a thyroid anymore, you have to take a medication on a daily basis that does the job of the thyroid. So I'm really annoyed about that. But I do see someone, I think Tuesday of next week, and I'll probably have the operation either next week or the week after. They're pretty quick to do it for me. So I'm just hoping I can still speak. So I'm pretty sure I'll have a very sore throat, but I'll still be coming and doing my live streams. All right, I'm not going to give up. But yes, I just thought, because I know I'm not worried, because the doctor told me not to worry. He said apparently, and I don't know, as I say, I don't know if anybody else here I don't know if anyone else here has ever had thyroid cancer, because I'm told it's a common cancer to get. I'm told it's nothing to worry about, that apparently that they'll get it and I'll be fine. So, mind you, I said to Enzo when I was walking out of the doctor's office, because the doctor said, it's common, don't worry about it, you'll be right, rah-de-rah. And I went, okay, all right, I won't worry about it. And as I was walking out the doctor's office, he goes, I'm so sorry, Karen. And I went, you just told me not to worry about it. Now you've just said, I'm so sorry, Karen. Shut up. But there's the upside. There's the upside, guys. I love being put to sleep. I love, the needle you get to make you go 9-9 when they operate. I love it. So I'm looking forward to that. Look at me. Karen is as chipper and upbeat as Enzo's shirt. You rock. Well, you got to be upbeat, right? And what's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen is, hey, it's actually worse than what we thought, and you're going to cark it. And then I'll work out ways with everybody I love to make sure that if I cark it within the first few weeks of my death, you'll all be getting haunted, okay? I mean, it's a win-win. Maybe I'll be the one that proves what goes on. But I think I'll be fine. I think it's my understanding that I won't be, I'm not going to enjoy the fact that they're removing a very important bloody gland in my body. But, here, Rita, I had the surgery on my thyroid. I didn't have cancer cells, but my thyroid was really enlarged. Yeah, terrific. Do you still have to take pills, Rita? I'd love to know. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Got it. What are you going to do, right? I could go ooh and cry about it, but there's people a lot worse off than me, quite frankly. Yeah. Isn't that right, Maisie girl? Do you know what I mean? So if the doctor says I'm going to be fine, I'm sure I'll be fine. I want, yeah. Oh, boo-hoo! I've got the cancer. I want another crocheted animal. No, don't do that to me. I'm coming to visit in September, so maybe I can steal one of your crocheted animals when I visit. Mrs. Geek crochets little animals. Where's Beto? Hang on. This is Mrs. Geek's handiwork. I think.
That's great.
Isn't he cute? And look, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. That's why Beardo said you rock, because he likes your shirt. Actually, I haven't seen you in one for a while. Beardo. But mind you, I've been missing some of the lives because you're on early and I'm still snoozing. And it's cold here now. We're coming into our winter, spring, summer, autumn. We're coming into our cold weather. So, yeah, but I love my little Beardo doll. He's very cute. I like him. He sits in my roasting house mug. Where's my other roasting house mug? There it is. The roasting house. Oop. Taylor, pay attention. The roasting house, the best coffee in Virginia City, and food. I love their food. Although the other good place to eat in Virginia City is the Canvas Cafe. Oh, not Canvas Cafe. They've gone, but it's at the Canvas Cafe. It's the Cider House. Because the Cider House, that's my all-time favourite restaurant for steak and yummy, like just yummy, proper soups and pastas and their desserts are to die for. Yeah, so if you get to Virginia City, which I hope you do in July 12th to 14th, yeah, let me see. Oh, Beardo says he still does wear his, because Beardo wears shirts like yours, Enzo. He wears them, and sometimes just his T-shirts. But you know how it is. Ah, thanks, Mrs. Geek. Yes, Giselle, very talented. Taylor says yes, it sure is. We'll go to the big roasting house coffee when you come visit Virginia. Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to go into the roasting house. I'll run in and I'm just going to probably cry and cuddle everyone. I just love them there. I just love the friends that I've made in Virginia City. I love them. Like, they make me so happy. They make me so happy. I wore a dress once and pigtails. So I saw that. Yeah, Beardo. Beardo had a dress on and ponytails. Oh, dear. G says, it's just they're not knowing you will be okay. I had my 6-monthly cancer Friday. Mercy's Women's Melbourne. Okay, wait. Yeah, it is what it is. See, a lot of us have these horrible, stupid things happen to us, and it is what it is. There's nothing much we can do, but what do you do? What do you do? It's just, and like I say, if I worry about it, where's that going to get me? It's not really going to get me anywhere. I'm just going to be sad or upset. And I'm not really worried about it. I'm more worried about the fact that once they do the operation, am I going to be able to, like when I had the biopsy, to swallow for the rest of the day, to swallow was quite annoying and a little painful, but only a little bit. Now I'm thinking, but the good thing about it is not only will I get put to sleep to have an operation, which I love, I really do. I think it's that feeling of letting go.
I've heard somebody say that before. I love that.
I wonder if that's what Michael Jackson got addicted to. The feeling of you just, all the stress, all your worries, just all of a sudden you can't control anything and you're gone. It's like, hey, it's like the awesome, it's just like an awesome way to go to sleep. So I wonder if that's what Michael Jackson got addicted to, that feeling, because I reckon I could. I reckon if doctor said to me every night when you want to go to sleep, I can give you that injection, I could whoa. But don't forget to wake me up. Yeah. So I don't know. So not only that though, but the upside is when I come out of the operation, I'll probably be as high as a kite on something for the pain. So because I don't do drugs, I don't even really drink alcohol because I get myself into trouble. So the only time I ever do anything like that is if there's something wrong, you know. Hi, Jessica. Welcome into the live. Yeah, think positive. You got to be positive. And at the end of the day, if you're going to die, you're going to die. Think of the positives in that. You know, you can find out what's happening on the other side. It's a big adventure. Like, you know, it's more the way you go, though. You don't want pain, but think of the drugs. No, I'm just trying to be positive. Oh, dear. So you all know now. So if for whatever reason I'm organising a girls' weekend on the YouTube for my live, because Enzo will be away learning all about aliens and bits and bobs like that in the desert. So I'm going to have a girls' weekend with Heather and I am Betty Gathers, and so we'll just have girls chat. The boys are still welcome in the chat, but it'll be a girls' live, and we're going to talk about boys and hair and makeup. Nah. We're just going to talk about crap like I normally do. We're just going to have a bit of fun. Tanya says you have your son to see again, so win-win. Yes. Did anyone see my beautiful boy at the end of my video? Or if you watched that far, when my ending comes up, I stuck Stephen in there. I put a picture of him in so that people know he's the one whose music I use. Sometimes people stop, though. You just turn it off when it gets to the end, so you might not see that. Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Geek. 4 a.m. What have you two been doing? What have you and Miss Beardo Dale been up to why are you awake from 4 a.m.? Do tell, and then you may leave. Oh, thanks, Dee. Yeah, he's a beautiful boy, my Stephen. Yeah, have a good sleep. I hope you can sleep. I am looking forward to meeting Mrs. Geek and Beardo when I get over to England. Or, well, Wales. They're in Wales. And we've got to go to... although they've cheated on me already and already been to the Ancient Ram Inn, but that's okay. I'll forgive them. I'll forgive them because, you know, I'll be there and I might have my new technique worked out by then. So we might be able to try that. Oh, 12 hours. Crap. That's a long shift. All right, go to bed, woman. Get to bed. Ask Dale to give you a lovely foot massage. Beardo hates feet. I'm sure he doesn't hate your feet, though, Mrs. Geek. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to England. I am. It'll be fun. So we'll see. I've got to save up my airfare yet. I've already paid for my trip part because that's like a thing I paid for when I was still working because that's how long it's been planned. But, yeah, just got to save up my airfare. I'll get there. I'll get there. If not, I'll just sell something or buy something and sell it or get a loan. I'll do something. I'm going. I'm not going to give up on that. I was going to say something, Enzo. It was important, I'm sure. I've forgotten. Doesn't matter. Enzo, do you want to talk about what's coming up that people might be interested in?
Sure.
If so, all right, just a minute. Everybody prepare yourself. Here we go. Oh, my God. Did you hear that? While I'm playing this, I'm going to get up.
I've been hearing it for like the last 30 minutes. It's hilarious.
I'm going to give her a kick in the bum. All right, I'll give the dog a kick in the bum while we prepare for the next segment of the show.
Who's that man in the fancy shirt? Who's the man with the cheeky smirk? Who has the answers? Who can explain? Well, it's Enzo the science guy. Enzo the science guy. Ask him how, ask him why. Enzo the science guy. He's Enzo the science guy.
I still like that. All right, do you want me to add that in now, Enzo?
Sure, we can add that in now. Turns out that this June 3rd and 4th, in the early morning, just before sunrise, no matter where you live on the earth, you're going to see this interesting alignment of planets just before sunrise, where you'll be able to see. Now, without binoculars or telescope, you will certainly be able to pick out Jupiter, Mercury, late crescent moon, Mars, and a little further up, Saturn. And it just happens to be that Neptune and Uranus will also be in that lineup, but they're so far out and so small and dim, you can't really see that with the naked eye. But it'll still look cool if you want to wake up a little early that morning and peer out your window to see that.
That's pretty awesome. I will have a look at that because I missed out seeing the pretty lights and the the pretty lights, the purpley pink.
The Aurora Borealis
Thank you. I missed
or
out
the
seeing.
Aurora Australis.
Yes, I missed on that, but I did see other people's pretty pictures.
I
But
think
yeah,
I
that
give
one.
another chance.
And for this one, I'm going to grab my little telescope that I purchased, which I still haven't used yet, and I'll go out and
That's
see.
right. It's
Yeah.
not just for spying on your neighbors. It's useful for spotting things in the sky. And if you have a decent pair of binoculars or a small telescope, and you're looking at like Jupiter, and you can certainly see the different bands that are on Jupiter. And my friend Jess, yeah. But
Yeah.
you can see like the giant red spot they always talk about, and you can certainly see the rings on Saturn if you have a decent pair of binoculars and can hold your hands steady enough. Don't be afraid to lean them on the table or the hood of the car or something like that to get them to hold them steady. But just a cool alignment that you don't get to see very often, but we'll get that this year. And as far as the auroras, if you remember a few weeks ago when people all over the world were seeing amazing displays, very, much further down in the lower latitudes, that particular sunspot, well, is a group of sunspots that belched out all of that material directly at the Earth. It has since rotated around the sun, and usually those things like form up into big blobs and then they go down.
I know, Ian.
That's usually when I'm going to bed. I don't know what people are talking about waking up part, but I'm sleeping with the vampire down there in the corner. But that particular group of sunspots that was responsible for it last week was on the opposite side of the sun and belched out probably the largest thing that's almost been recorded. It's because it was on the opposite side of the sun. It was kind of hard to measure it because it was pointed away from us, but it was big enough that some like cursory other satellites that are like going to other planets, like going to Venus as a probe over there, that were like caught up in the wake of it. It's like, whoa, that was a big one. Now,
Wow.
normally by the time they rotate around to the other side, they move around all the time and they're not all grouped up. It's now coming back around towards us. It's bigger than it was when it clobbered us a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So
does that mean there's going to be more lights?
Maybe. It all depends. It's one of those things that it's almost impossible to predict, but this particular group has been very, very active, as we, the whole planet saw a few weeks ago. And it's much larger than what it was. And it's since put off the biggest shot probably ever recorded. So, yep, you don't have to go very far. If you live in a big city where there's a lot of light pollution, just hop in your car for like 20 minutes, head for the country somewhere outside of the city limits. And depending on where, like if you're in the northern hemisphere for like the northern lights, drive north of the city. So the city lights are at your back and you're looking towards the north so you can see them. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere and want to look at the Australis, the version of the Aurora Australis, drive to the south, keep the lights to your back. So you'll be able to see them.
And anything else coming up this week?
Well, for the rest of this week, no, it's been pretty quiet. But this past week, several days ago,
oh yeah, that was awesome.
There was this big meteor that blasted over the western part of Spain and the northern part of Portugal, and then dumped off into the Atlantic Ocean that a lot of people saw because it was like right around midnight.
It was so bright. It was
About 18th
remarkable.
and 19th. I'm just going to let this play without the audio. But this is various different webcams and security cams. Look at this girl's face.
Yeah.
What?
That was beautiful, that one.
She's like, what? But it was a brilliant blue-green that lit up the entire sky for hundreds of miles. Look at that.
The one with the girl, I thought, oh, that's fake. Like, what have they done there?
Really
Because it was so beautifully, it was just so beautifully
it was
filmed.
perfectly framed in there. It was like perfectly,
that one.
almost like it was staged, but it is absolutely real. That's like something you would see in a movie scene, you know, when the giant meteors about to hit the earth.
Yeah. I'll remove that before I get a copyright like I did last time for the robots. Bloody buzzer. I know, Jessica. What's Dr. Deb saying? I went out overnight after the live when you discussed the aurora, Enzo. It was primarily red here that night, but I was so grateful to have learned about it and being able to see what I did. So thank you.
So glad you got to see it. Yeah. It was that particular bout for that night or two. There was a lot of red reported all over the world for that one, which is, I won't say that's rare for your average. Mostly it's greens. But the red means it was like super saturated and it was interacting with stuff in the upper atmosphere. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you got to see it.
Yeah, there's a lot happening, but yeah, whatever. It's just happening.
It's just the apocalypse again.
Yeah, it's just the apocalypse. Next thing it'll be
around every 12,500 years. It's time.
Yeah, it's time for us to go.
We'll reboot civilization again.
I have to ask you, I'm absolutely fascinated with it. I watched Joe Rogan and he was talking to the actor. You know who I'm talking about, the actor.
Everybody's been talking about it all week and I still haven't seen it yet. But
yeah, no, but I was listening to that and even Joe's mind was being boggled. So I've watched it and then I've rewatched it and then I've taken portions and watched it. The more I watch something, the more it sinks in. Terrence, is that his first name? I think so. But anyway, I'm like, shit.
What was it he said that blew you away?
Yeah, but it really makes perfect sense. So I'm must have a look into him a little bit more and suss out. But yeah, he's I don't know, but he's certainly upsetting the apple cart. So I like it when people upset the apple cart. It means that there could be something to it. So yeah. Bleep, 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 blop. What's Dr. Deb say? At least we get to see pretty things before the end comes. Exactly.
Right. Enjoy the light show. It's free.
Look, I reckon they've been saying for a little while about the solar thing melting our electrical circuits, basically. So we'll have no electricity for God knows how long because, that is all I'd be perfectly honestly, that's all I'd be worried about at the moment because if we lose all of our electricity, there's a lot of us on the planet who would be clever enough to know, well, okay, we'll have to go back to the way we used to do things back in the day with no electricity. Some will need fire, lots of candles and learn how to make things. Right. Like there's ways of living without electricity. We did it for thousands and thousands of years. But
everybody says, if there's another Carrington event, electromagnetic pulse, we're going to get blasted back to the Stone Age. Actually, it's going to be more like Elizabethan times or the Old West in the U.S.
Yeah, so it just means that but the unfortunate thing is that not everyone will take an intelligent stance with it. You'll have people that are, I hate to say it, uneducated, have no common sense, or you'll have the entitled rich people that will go, oh my God, how do I get my caviar? Like, like what?
Right.
Like the people who won't have the foggiest idea on how to grow a
Oh,
vegetable, have a chicken for some eggs, and burn a candle at night. If anything, everyone will be getting a good amount of rest because you won't have any light you won't have television.
that's right.
You'll have to go back to board games and playing cards. And
Or
oh God,
or something that's gone way out of fashion, and everyone doesn't know. You have to talk to other people
other
face to
people.
face.
Yeah.
Talking
So
to your neighbors. Well, meeting your neighbors and then
yeah.
talking.
And you'd go, oh well, guys, what are we going to do? Okay, who's got a veggie patch? Terrific. Okay, well, we can't. You'd be able to use your car for a short time until you ran out of petrol. That'd be unless does it fry the car's electricals?
Yes.
I don't think.
Do you have
all right.
unless you have a older car that doesn't have electronic emission, electronic fuel, and all that stuff. So if you have
All
like
right.
a 1950s, 60s era vehicle that doesn't have any electronics in it,
So
other
the beauty is we'll have to get up into the mountains and save all of the Brumbies that we have here. You call them Mustangs in America. So we'd all have to go and get ourselves a pony. That'd be it. And isn't that horrible? Boo hoo, we'd have to have a pony. I love a pony.
well, you got to feed it as well as yourself too. But a lot of if that were to occur, I mean, there's a lot. Sad to say that there are a lot of people that require like medications to be refrigerated and things like that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true. So a lot of us all die, and a lot of us won't. And
If you think about it, right now, every single person in the audience is like, "Hey, go make yourself some dinner." You can't have anything off of the refrigerator, and unless you have a gas stove, that's all you've got to cook on is a gas stove.
And look at what Dr. Deb that was the New Orleans things with the Hurricane Katrina. That was remind me who was president then, because he sucked. Who was the president?
George Bush.
Yeah, friggin'
I agree.
shit. Like that took him I was anyway, I won't go into it, but that was even from an Australian standpoint, the amount of time it took to get the proper help needed to the people in New Orleans was foul. But yeah, so Dr. Deb said that she stayed for Katrina, no water for 3 weeks, no electricity for 6. And what amazed her more was how the ecology changed even that short. Yeah, like I know it sounds for me though, because I guess I've got a slight idea on how to survive without any of those things. I'd be more worried about the human element that doesn't know how to survive.
Yes.
That's what would bother me. Like, who's going to come storming into my house to steal whatever? Like, that would bother me. That's what bothers me, the human element. Because if all humans just banded together, if that happens in a good way, we'd be right. Like I said, our ancestors back in the 1800s, 1600s, sure, it goes backwards, but in time it'll be okay. Over the years, they'll get things back to how they should be, I guess, But yeah, I'm sure you are, Dr. Deb. But yeah, no, that's all I'll say about that, Ian. It's just that is if you do have a look at the historical point in time that Katrina happened, it was pretty much not a good response time. Let's just say that's all I'll say about that.
It was well.
Oh, I don't know. I'll put it up, Holly, since you took so long to type it. But then I'll shush. Remember the telethon for Katrina, and Kanye announced George Bush doesn't care about. He was right, but looking back, his candid moment was probably the first sign of mental illness. I don't know. Kanye's who knows? I don't know enough about Kanye, nor do I really want to. I just think each to their own. He's probably unwell and he's probably got his moments of he's okay. So we're all a bit wacko.
I was more laughing, I think, at that particular moment because he was on screen with Mike Myers, I think, from like Wayne's World and all those movies.
He was too. Yeah,
You
yeah.
just see his eyes get wider and wider when he started screaming. It's like, oh boy, here we go.
Well, Candy, if you've got an apartment, that's okay. You just go, what is it? What do they call them? The doomsday people? Just go grab a couple of little bags of dirt and stuff, but you just move. You just grab a tent, whatever. You'll be right. I just wouldn't want to
If you
live
live in
somewhere
a
where it
city and that
snows.
happens, you're not in good shape. You better be good friends with people that maybe have some property out in the outside.
Yeah.
City is not where you want to be when civilization falls.
Hi, Earl. I haven't seen you. I haven't been to Nevada yet, Earl. That's July 12th to the 14th is my event in the Americas. So that's when I'll be there. What's that? I'm old enough to remember Bruce Springsteen referring to Katrina and the Bush response in song form. Hey, I'm old enough to remember Bruce Springsteen in his tight jeans with his red bandana and singing Born in the USA. I saw him in concert. He had a cute butt.
His Dancing in the Dark video, dancing with a very young Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox, yeah. And everybody wanted to be the girl that was dancing in the dark. And he did that at all of his concerts. And I was spitting chips because I was too far back, but he got someone up and he danced in the dark with him. God damn it. Yeah. Good old, when you could actually speak your mind and people would just go blah, blah. No, I didn't listen to him singing that one. Holly, that one. I didn't listen. I stopped at Bruce's music. I love Bruce Springsteen's old stuff. I just do. And I think the last song of his I really enjoyed was the song that was in that, oh God, the movie with Tom Cruise and whatever her name was. He had a song, something about a garden. I don't know. I can't remember. That's the last time I listened to Bruce. But yeah, everyone changes a little bit with age.
Oh, yes.
My number one bit of advice for anything you know about as possibly ahead of time, dry ice was a lifesaver. Dry ice? In what way? Explain that. Enzo, how's dry ice a lifesaver?
Well, I mean, it keeps things cold for way longer than like regular ice. It still melts, but when it does, it's because dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide. So you ever watch those old movies where they've got the scientists in the lab and they've got the beaker full of stuff and you can see the fog rolling out of like the beaker thing?
Oh, that's the dry ice. Yeah. It's not the smoke.
It's got dry ice in it. So it's just don't touch it with your hands because you'll only do it once.
Jaya, that was Billy Idol. Billy Idol saying, "Oh, it's a nice day for a white wedding." Oh God, no, it wasn't David Bowie. It was Billy Idol. It's a nice day. You'll watch The Wedding Singer. Billy Idol's at the end of that with Adam Sandler. But yeah, Billy Idol sang, "It's a nice day for a white wedding." What's Ian saying? The 80s killed the future we're living in, Earl. Oh, I don't know. I like the 80s. If I had a point in time, I'd go back to the 80s and see what we could stop. Yeah, it's just ask Karen anything. I might be right. I could be wrong. But that was definitely Billy Idol. That was one of my favourite songs back in the day. That was the 70s, White Wedding. Because I still remember when that was and where I lived. So, geez, crikey. Honestly, I think my dog needs an apnea machine. Listen to her. When I played your science guy thing, Enzo, I got up and I gave her a shove and I said, "Stop snoring." And she lifted her head and looked at me and put her head back down and started snoring. I was actually trying to do voiceovers for my Hookman episode, and she was on the end of my bed and it was very quiet. So I started to do the voiceovers because I was sitting up in bed doing it because why not? It was cold. And I got to it. I nearly got it finished and and really loud. And I'm like, oh my God. And I don't know how many times I had to redo something because she was snoring. In the end, I kicked her off my bed and put her in the lounge room.
Dr. Deb's response to your dry ice question there.
What was that? Oh, I over-prepared for things, always bought 60 pounds of dry ice before any hurricane. Finally came into use. I was able to feed so many people as my fridge and freezer stay cold for 10. Well, good to know.
That's a good
Except
one.
I wouldn't know here where to go and buy dry ice. I know where to go and buy ice, but dry ice, I wouldn't know where to buy it. Did you get that at Walmart, Dr. Deb? Do they sell it at what they sell just about everything at Walmart? And we don't have it.
Not all of them have it, but some of them do. So
wow,
but that's good advice, though.
Yeah. Oh well. Bloody cocky's going crazy outside. I stuck some food out for the cocky. I've got one cockatoo that flies into my backyard every morning and it wants a little piece of toast. But I didn't have toast this morning, so I just got a piece of bread. But it comes in every morning. But I've started to put the food out for the wild birds again. So I think the cockies are getting a little smart again. They come, one tells the other and the other tells the other. And by the time you're finished, you've got about 20 cockatoos on your fence.
Does it not get very cold there, like below freezing where you're at in the winter?
Not where I am, not in Queensland. It does if you live in Tasmania, certain parts of Victoria, like up high, certain parts of, like, yes, on the east coast it does, it snows, but not down, not at sea level, but just up on the mountains. But it's certainly not in Queensland. At least I've never had that.
Because usually birds like that'll like migrate a lot. They'll follow the heat, kind of a thing.
Elwood. Let me think. I don't know. Who's he doing a show with? No, I didn't. I know he's going to do something when he's in America with Jason Hawes. So if that's what you're talking about, he's going over to America in September. So probably after I meet up with him, he's going to America. I think that's right. Yes. I won't give you my opinions on Mr. Jason, but that's my opinion. I just think, oh dear. Yes, that says Earl. Yeah, so that's all right. 26 people with us today. It's been so awesome. I like it when it's just this much because you can keep up with everybody in the chat. And I've seen quite a few people I love and adore today. So there you go. It's nice.
This is for the U.S. with this being Memorial Day weekend. It's like that's the start of like travel season for like summer road trips and going all over the place. So a lot of U.S. folk are out and about this weekend.
Yeah, a JD. That's right. That's all I need to say. Just makes you want to say Is that a song? Isn't that a song? Makes you want to go My Nana always said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So that's what I'll do. I just think, I mean, I can say some things nice, but
I just sit here.
But I'm just, it doesn't matter. Maybe one day in a members only live stream, I'll say why I think what I think. But but not in the public. I don't want to get sued. Dr. Deb. Has sources dry ice, hitman, medication. Oh, what? Dr. Deb has sources, dry ice, hitmen, medication, wise guys, you name it. A one-stop shop to get business dealt with. Excellent. Dr. Deb needs to be my new best friend. You know what? I am looking forward to getting back to Virginia City because there's still people within the Virginia City area that are very, very old and very, very knowledgeable about the days of the mob, like And I just want to listen to the stories. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why I'm fascinated with the mob, with the mafia, and that's just because when I was younger, I watched a documentary on now I've gone. Lucky Luciano, the guy who got shot in California, Bugsy Siegel. I watched a documentary about how they started. Oh, it wasn't a documentary; it was a TV show. So there was probably artistic allowances, but it was the way. Oh, you're going, Candy. Have a good day. Have a good day. We'll be off in about 30 minutes anyway. But yeah, I watched that and I was fascinated with in regard to Italian history in America and the Italians coming to America and all that sort of thing and why things started and coming over from there. It was just intriguing to me that this is the life that those people, and they weren't stupid people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just got fascinated with it and why, and almost like there's with the mob, it's kind of like a strange loyalty thing, yet like just be careful. Like it's a loyalty thing and they'll look after you if you're part of the family. There's no mucking around. You don't muck with kids, you don't do whatever. But then again, you do the wrong thing just a little bit, and to learn that it's generally your best friend that takes you out if you've got to be taken out. And it's kind of fascinates me. And I don't know. I'd love to talk to somebody that can. I don't mean like I'm in love with the mob. I just mean I'm fascinated by the psyche and how it worked. I often watch. There's a fella that is no longer in the mob, and he's got a YouTube channel, and I can't remember what his channel's called, or even what his name is. But he's around now. Like he's not that old. He might be 50, maybe 60. I can't think of his name. He was in jail, I think. But anyway, I'm listening to him too talk, and I'm like, ooh, okay. I'll think of his name and I'll say it next week. Let's see. All right, you have. If you're still listening, Candy, have a lovely weekend, and we'll talk to you again. Dinner time. Is it dinner time in America?
Yes, 6:30 p.m. my time. So it's getting to be dinner.
What's that? Holly says, Alice Roosevelt Longworth said, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. Oh, dear. Can you all hear the cockatoos?
Oh, yes, we can hear them.
Oh, I'm sorry. It must just be the noise. Well, that's life in Australia. That's life in Australia. Just dogs snoring. Yeah, dogs snoring, cockatoos going cray cray. That'll be because there's a wild cockatoo in the backyard setting them off. And snoring. Oh my God. There's nothing quiet about my lives, is there? So Enzo leaves on Wednesday to go to something in the desert. What's it called again?
Going to Contact in the Desert, which is basically like it's a big UFO type convention, but it's like Burning Man for UFO conventions. It's the big one, the one that everybody goes to. And they're celebrating their 10th year anniversary this year. And as a matter of fact, Saturday, they have a special thing Saturday night, Contact in the Desert, where they're going to have.
That sounds like my kind of meeting.
UFO treats of some type. I don't know yet.
Yeah. Isn't there supposed to be someone there that I wanted you to talk to? There
probably.
is.
All the big names are going to be there.
No, except for my favourite. What's his name again? The one that worked on the UFOs. The one that Sonny and I would fight over talking to first.
Yeah, Bob Lazar will not be
Bob
there.
Lazar. Nah. I miss Sonny.
Yeah, me too.
I miss Sonny. Because he normally would pop in, and if he had time, I'd say, "Come on," and he'd laugh and he'd tell us something we didn't know. Stuff it. Some people you just really miss, but never mind. Yeah, but he and I would, you remember, we'd go, no, I'll get Bob to talk to me first. Nah, I'd say. It'll be him. I wish he had have got that privilege. I really do. But, he got to talk to other interesting people. So,
Oh yeah.
more than I, yeah. But
Jim Goodall was at his house all the time,
I know.
which he does know Bob Lazar. That was the connection. That's how I think he was going to get him before you.
Yes, thank you, Earl. Do you remember his name? Yes, he did. Because he spent time in prison for not giving up names or something. But what's his name? Do you remember his name? I've been watching him a little bit. Tanya, a sea of nerds. I wish I could sift through that. Tanya. Oh dear. Enzo in the dessert chomping on I see them.
Hey, Cody.
Sounds like fun, Enzo. Have a great time. Yeah, there'll be lots to talk about when he gets back, I'm sure.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So if you see anybody big time that you can talk to, even do a quick little, hey, this is blah blah blah, and then talk to him and tell us what you learnt. I don't know.
Actually, when that's over, I'll be stopping off in Arizona to visit a few friends, and we're going to go check out Montezuma Castle. That's what it's called. It's one of
Is that a
those.
picture of it you've just put up?
Yes. It's like this one. It's
Cool.
one of these. Old,
Arizona.
it's one of those old. What do they call it? The cliff dwellings that are made out of brick that the old Native Americans from hundreds and hundreds of years ago have in there. This place is really, really old, several hundred years old, and it's built into this old notch in the cliff.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Some of that is very similar to other parts of the world that you see these dwellings on cave sides. So how have they come to the conclusion that it is Native Americans, as in possibly another, like, is that certain? It's not another more advanced civilization from eons ago? Because that is very similar. I'm just trying to think where I saw it the other day. I was watching something and they had very similar things carved out of rock. Oh, in China, I think it was.
Oh yeah. This isn't carved out of rock. This was
So this is built brick.
This was like a cave kind of thing that was built into the side of this cliff, and I don't know for sure. This is what I'm gonna learn when I go there is if there's a small cave that comes into the back, and that's where they brought in all this adobe brick that makes up all of these buildings. You can see it's made of a different material here, especially. But there were quite a few people that lived there, and it's, you can see these people talking how it's right in this hollow on the side of this cliff.
It's actually I mean, if you didn't know it was there from a distance or whatever, you'd barely see it.
Well, and that was part of the allure is it's like any kind of like a castle or anything, like with giant walls, something like that. It's something that, it's protection for the people inside. So they had, their whole families and farm
Is there
animals.
pictures of the inside? Has someone been in behind the walls, or is it just that?
This is actually one of our America's. I want to say this was like the second or third location that was put on our national parks list.
Hi, Betty.
And it used to be up until like the 1920s that they would allow you to go walking around amongst the ruins, but they're just so old and so fragile that people just walking around, they were falling apart. So they stopped doing that. So, but they have these cutaways like this showing, see if I can find it, that look like this, like what the inside would look like. They had separate rooms in there. They had little ladders going up between the floors.
It's pretty cute. That.
It's pretty intricate how they had it all laid out. So I'm really looking forward to checking that place and other similar places to that are all dotted around this one area in central Arizona where I'm going to be. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. But it is considered part of a Native American culture. It's not someone from they don't subscribe necessarily that I don't know Atlanteans came and settled there or anything like that.
No, a bit like Mayans or well, it's a bit different to Mayans, but
Yeah, it's pretty different.
it's just interesting because you're so used to the concept that they didn't stay in one place. The Native Americans were nomadic. So for me to see a solid structure is like, oh, well, they must have lived a little bit differently back then.
Well, when they say migratory, for like the ones on the east coast of the U.S., where the like the northeast winters are awful there, so they would migrate down into the central part of the U.S. Those folks, and it was basically like a change of scenery. Or sometimes they would, like in the plain states where I live, they would have camps that would migrate to follow like the buffalo to hunt them and things like that. But they usually had one general kind of home base kind of an area that may not necessarily have had structures like these. Because once you've built something like this, yeah, you're kind of, you're going to be stuck there.
Oh, I want to do that, Ian.
Some of the people I'm going with are very familiar with that story, and they do have stories to tell me when I get there. And I don't think we'll be going to the Grand Canyon while I'm there to talk about that, but they're into that. They are quite familiar.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, Earl. Like New Mexico, so we're getting down. It's just interesting to me. I'd like to learn more about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like this is you can see like they had ladders go, and this is the same place where they would have these ladders at the base of the cliff to climb up there and that live up here. And if any bad guys comes along,
just remove the ladders.
Yeah, pull the ladder up and you're done. And I guess these areas down here used to be a little bit bigger. I don't know. Yeah, you can see my thing where they would some places they would have like crops, or they would have like some animals like sitting over here grazing on some of the grasses or whatever. It was obviously a little wetter back in those days, where now it's all super dry, middle of the desert. But and then they would just throw over their shoulders and hike them up to the ladder at the end of the night, so they're not out there all night and things like that. It's pretty slick, pretty ingenious to put this all together. I have a lot of questions.
I could live in that. I reckon that'd be, so long as it didn't crumble down, I
sure.
could live in that. But then again, I'm scared of heights, so maybe I couldn't. I could climb up, I could get up, it'd be coming down, that'd be the worry.
I'm sure it was much better in its heyday several hundred years ago, but so yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to checking this out, and this is actually why I wanted to make sure I went and got that Parks Pass, and this will be my first time using it to go to this Montezuma Castle is what this is called.
Pretty cool. Well, even the fact that they call it Montezuma, isn't that an ancient Aztec name, Montezuma?
Yes, it is. Yeah. And I'll have to ask the question when I'm there for you, because now I'm curious.
I'd like to know, because it's
with it being part of that. I don't know if it goes that far. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'll have to ask.
Yeah. Well, there you go. A question. Earl says back in the 70s when he was a kid, he went up to the cliff dwellings with his family on vacation. Pretty cool.
Yeah, there's quite a few similar cliff dwellings to this dotted throughout the U.S. I know there's some up in Colorado and some in Mexico, places like that.
Ian's been to the Grand Canyon. You're smarty pants, aren't you, Ian? The only I've seen Grand Canyon, of course, but the one thing that always sticks in my mind is National Lampoon's Vacation with Chevy Chase and the family. And he's got to take off really quick, so they're in front of the Grand Canyon, and he's like, "Let's go."
All right, seen it. Let's go. But
were there tiny ears of corn in the actual dwelling? Because back in the day, that's the other thing, people. Corn was not big.
Corn was only like that big. Yeah.
Yeah, corn was about as big as your thumb. So back in the day, corn, that was it. That was the size of corn. now, of course, through, I guess they've just genetically done something to it, and that's why it's as big as it is now. That's what she said. Montezuma Castle, one of the best preserved cliff dwellings in the southwest. It was built in, you took it away. Oh, there we are.
I was trying to make it bigger.
It was built in a shallow recess in a vertical cliff and contains 22 rooms constructed in 5 stories. Montezuma is a misnomer. The builders were Pueblo. Oh, there you go. Pueblo, is that how you say it? Pueblo Indians,
Pueblo,
similar to the modern Hopi's dwellings built. Oh, okay. Well, it's just answered our question. About 650 years ago, Ranger Service and Museum. Muffin, I'm going to get you a bloody machine. You need one. You've got sleep apnea, Muffin. Oh, well, there you go. That answered it. So they've called it Montezuma, but that's just whatever. Oh, look at that old car.
Hoopty there.
Yeah. Is that what you'll be driving then?
Probably. That's hard to tell what I'm going to be going there. Let's see if they got.
Well, and that's the other thing, Earl. Over history, most people were very small. Like even back to the 1700s, if you have a look at old houses and stuff in England, and some of those houses still exist, which Ian will know, and you've got to literally duck to go in the doorway now. Like, so over hundreds of years, we've gone from being relatively shortish type people to 6 foot high. They had tall people. There were still tall people around, but yeah. Oh, no, Betty. I'll talk to you through the week. Yeah, I'll talk to you next week. I'm looking forward to having you on. It'll be fun. I love listening to Betty. So tune in next week and you'll see Betty and Come Hither with Heather and I doing a live in Enzo's absence. So it'll be a girls' night. It's really interesting, a lot of the stuff. That's what I mean. History is so fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously everything comes to an end. Like everything comes to an end. Eventually it comes to an end and then it starts again. But that's what fascinates me about our era. Like when I was a little girl, we had minimal things and computers filled up the whole floor in a building, like just to do not even what a calculator can do nowadays. And that's where I think everyone gets a little suspicious as to how from the turn of the century when Tesla and was playing around with stuff, how from turn of the century or the late 1800s, turn of the century, early 1920s, from that, we've gone within 20 years, even a shorter time frame, to having some of the technology we have now that even you or I, our brains were baffled to know how it works. Like you can look at some of Tesla's old stuff, like his crystal radio and stuff, and you can see quite easily how that works. You can make one. But try and make a transistor or like, where did that come from? How did we move so quickly? And we
Wilbur Orville Wright did their first flight of their biplane thing made out of bicycle parts and canvas in 1903. So a little over 100 years, 120 years ago. And now we're sending, probes to other planets, and you can fly for relatively cheap pretty much anywhere in the world that you want to go to nowadays on a moment's notice.
But it's not even that. I saw something the other day. I had to laugh. I don't know if it's real. I'll have to look it up. But even things like our telephones, our mobile telephones. I mean, for years and years and years, we relied on the copper wiring and the telephone system through the wires, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, mobile telephones. And intricate, like where the hell? How? Who? Like something. That's just really weird. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist in that regard, but that's weird to go from big clunky computers and within 10 years we've got, I mean, who were, what are their names? The ones that invented Apple and Microsoft? Freaking, I mean.
It used to be the vision of the future was this for communications. This is
Yeah.
way better than anything that Kirk and Spock ever used.
Actually, I was going to say something that worked as their translator too, didn't it?
Yes, that's
Yeah. I
they didn't.
saw.
Many
I've
years
got
later, they came up with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I've got to look into it because you know how you've got the what do they call it? The something or other translator. So basically, you wear it on you, and you can talk to anyone, and they'll understand what you're saying or whatever. They've got their name for it in Star Trek, but I don't know if it's real or not. I've just seen it
It's
starting to pop up.
this does it too. Yeah,
Yeah, but they've got
Google
another. They've got
Translate.
another thing. They've got another thing now that you talk at that time. I don't know if that's how that works, but you talk. I've seen it on Facebook. It comes up and you can buy it. It looks sort of like a little recorder, but it's like you hold it like that and talk, and as you're talking, it translates straight away. I don't know. Does
Google,
that do it too? And I'm
Google
like,
Translate in conversation mode, and if
oh,
you hit transcribe, it you speak whatever it is that you just say, you know, I need to see your license and registration, please, and it'll actually type it out, and you tell what language to convert it into, and it prints it out in both English and in Spanish or
but
French,
it prints it.
whatever
It
it is.
doesn't speak it.
And it does speak it, and you can even choose male or female voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know
But
if this new thing that I saw is faster. I think I've got the impression from what I've seen that it's literally almost instant. So I say, hello, Enzo, how are you? And pop. Oh, but you've obviously got to say whatever language. So I don't know. I'll see if I can find it because that'd be pretty cool. Yes, the world has gotten smaller, but yeah. What's Ian saying? Whatever technology our government possesses in public, the stuff they're keeping secret is 20. Yeah, look, there's something fishy going on. I don't know. How do we move so quickly in such, and it is a short amount of time, given that for hundreds of years. So how, and where did the stuff come from? Like, how did they know who did, I don't know. There's just something weird. I don't know what it is. Aliens, I don't know.
I don't know why you would think there would be a sudden burst of new technologies that would have come up somehow in around like 1947. I don't know what you're talking
I don't know either. It's funny, isn't it? What's Tanya saying? Where is ET, Karen? I need you to get. Oh yeah, ET. Hang on, where have I put him? Give me a second. Oh, there he is. He's over in the corner. I'll bring him over. I'm sorry, puppy. Look, isn't he cute? And then you do this. Hang on. Oh, the dog's excited. Hang on. So
phone
yeah, I haven't. Oh, there you go. Okay.
What? Sounds like a dog.
Oh, hang on. Where's his face gone? And he's got the little thing. I don't know how you. But that's my little ET. His heart does light up. Hang on. There you
Oddly
go.
enough,
Tanya.
they, they always have a movie night at Contact in the Desert, and this year they are playing ET. And the actress that played the mom is going to be there and talk
Oh,
about
love her. She's
filming.
been in a few episodes of Supernatural too. In one episode of Supernatural, she comes on to Jensen Ackles. I'd come on to Jensen Ackles too, and I wouldn't even be interested in the rest. I'd just go, oh. I don't know. Jensen Ackles is, I don't know. He's like, there's something about him. I don't think he's from Earth. He's too cute. What do you think, puppy? He's jealous of ET. Oh, Muffin. Hello, you're awake. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes. I'll get a picture of you too, Muffin, and you can be a, I don't know. Oh, Tanya told me I need to make more emojis for members. So I will do that. I'll figure it out. It's not as easy as you think to go into that thing. It confuses me. So I don't know. I'll see what I can do. But there you go. Yes, I got that ET. I saw it in the shop, and I love ET. I love that movie. And I hope that that's really what aliens are like. I'd go under the ocean and live with aliens. Like, I'm sure that you don't have to, I'm sure they've got some way that there's no water, like you just walk around and you've got to go through the water to get out. Not to mention all the pretty fish and things that are right down below that are like lights. Some of those animals that they somehow get pictures of, like that have their own light source, like they're just incredible. I think we need to get rid of the government and go back to being little tribes, like little tribes of people that trade with other little tribes of people, and we don't argue, we just get along, and we don't need anybody telling us that if we drive too fast, you'll get a fine. If you accidentally have your telephone on your lap while driving, you lose demerit points off your license and pay $1,000 to the government. You don't have to take injections that you don't want to if you want to keep your job. Like, government sucks. We need it, I guess. You still do need someone to sort of make sure things run smoothly, but I think the people should have a lot more. I think there should be a lot more referendums. So when the government,
I do think we need better representation. I mean, someone that's actually going, not going to just, thanks for voting for me. I'm going to DC and I'm never going to see or listen to you ever.
Yeah. So when they say things like, or for example, when the big, thing happened and we all had to get injections and wear masks, they could have, I don't think anyone was really worried about being locked up momentarily at home just until we were certain what this was. But I think the government should have said, well, hey, this is what we're being told we need to do, but because it's going to affect A, B, and C, we're just going to have a referendum. Everybody go to the polls and tell us how you want us as the people, how you want us to handle this, because we're your elected officials. We're the people that you're asking to do this for. So tell us what you want us to do. And then let the people vote. If the people overwhelmingly vote to lock everything down, if the people overwhelmingly vote to not let people work unless they have, okay, then we live with it because we've all had input into the decision. I think that's what should change. I just think everybody should be allowed to have an opinion, not just let them do it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not getting political now. This is for everything. Just that I think that, yes, we go to the polls and we elect somebody, but we should still have input into the decisions they make for us. Because why are they making certain decisions? Is it because that the oil companies are paying them to make that decision? Is it because Big Pharma is paying them to make that decision? No, well, I'd like to know. So I would think the people should be allowed to make, have input into the decision. So, okay, everybody, we're going to do this. What do you think? There'd be an easier way to do it than probably everybody having to go out in their car and put a piece of paper in a ballot. There'd be some way they could make it up, like, but I just think that's what we need as a human race. We need more input into protecting ourselves than trusting the governments, because we can't trust them anymore, unfortunately, which is a shame. But that is the way it is. I don't think that's political, because that goes everywhere. If I was picking a side, it'd be political. Is that right? I think.
Yeah.
I'm not a political person. I'm just saying I think we need more input into the decisions that are being made to control us. That's what I think. Holly, you'll have something to say about this. I do like the idea of more choice, but the only problem with that is referendums are expensive. Sometimes decisions have to be made quickly. In theory, we elect people who are smarter. Do we? I don't think so. We just no, I wouldn't say. I think you're being a little bit about electing people.
You mean adding to their bank account? Yes.
Yeah, no, we don't. I think we elect people that want to be rich, because they certainly don't get paid enough really to be a politician. Oh, they get a good wage, but it's not great. In theory, says Holly, in theory. Yeah, no. That's why I think I think it's just kind of like, and referendum, that's what I'm saying too. That's what I meant. A referendum could be made a lot easier to do rather than be expensive. Because when they do a referendum here in Australia, you've got to literally, like, there's ballot papers that get printed. Then you've got to hire out buildings where people go to vote. Then you've got, so that is expensive, whereas they could probably do it all online. Can that be trusted? I don't know. But at some point, you've got to give some trust. But do it a quick, like literally like Saturday morning online or over the weekend of, you've got to go in and you've got to do this and you've got to register and you've got to register your opinion. I mean, there'd be some way to oversee that, but yeah, I don't know. If I wouldn't want to be a politician because you get approached all the time, just like doctors do in a doctor's office, where you get the pharmaceutical companies send out the reps to the doctor to, hey, get your patient to take this drug. And if you get your patient to take this drug, this is what we do for you. That's what they do. That's what pharmaceutical companies do. So if they do that to the doctor, what are they doing to the government to allow them to put certain drugs on the market? Just saying. But there you go. What do they do as a British, referendums have been the ruin of this country? Well, I suppose, actually, yes, we did have a referendum here not long ago to give the Aboriginal people a voice in Parliament. And there were, I nearly said, there were uneducated, ill-informed, and what appeared to be racist people out there, but definitely ill-informed and uneducated, that thought it had something to do, didn't realise what it meant to do. They thought, if you give the Aboriginal people a voice, they're going to stop this, they're going to stop that, they're going to want their land, they're going to want their... No, it was to merely give them a voice by, you know how you have your thing of independence, Declaration of Independence. Well, we've got a sort of one as well. So in that, Aboriginal people are, but basically like cattle. You know, they don't have a voice. They're incidental, much like your Native Americans were probably treated back in the day. So it was putting them in to have a voice. That's all it was. I voted yes, but people it wasn't overwhelming, but that it didn't get passed through the referendum, and there were people at the referendum things playing songs and like, it was not a pretty sight. It actually made our country look very, very racist, but it was because people weren't educated properly as to what the government was talking about. You had to self-educate, which isn't always good when you're dealing with people who don't like to self-educate and just go by what they hear. So it was pretty disappointing.
Headlines and that's it.
Yeah, and that's what Holly says. Very true. Yeah, it's I don't know. What was that? Some poor people, well, they just have 2 geriatrics to vote for. Yeah, I'm not getting involved. I'm not. That's what we're talking about now. I don't think is
a good time to say goodnight. This
is
the international marshalling sign for evacuate the aircraft. Yes,
evacuate. I'm not getting into that. But I think what we've just discussed isn't really political. It's is it?
No.
But I'm not.
Yeah,
but when I say I don't want to talk about, that's what I mean. I don't want to talk about who's running for president or who's. I don't want to get into that. That's a whole different thing. I'm not American. I just love America. And it'll all sort itself out in the wash. Look at the time. Oh, look at that, Enzo. Look at the time. Dear. Well, I am going to end it all there. And I'll keep you all informed as to when I'm supposed to be having this operation. If it might not be a little live thing, or it might be I'll just make a quickie live and just let you know, but I'll probably just put it in the community post. I do plan to be here live next Sunday with Betty Gathers and Heather from Come Hither with Heather. It'll be a girls' night or a good morning.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's going to be fun, and we'll talk about some good fun stuff, and we'll try to keep it light. We'll try not to get into, I think we did well here. We almost got onto the verge. I was looking at the comments. I'm ignoring the comments. Yeah, I just like to, yeah. Oh, Holly, you don't, yeah, sorry, I didn't tell Holly, and she's a friend that lives here.
Oh no.
Holly, I've got the big C and not COVID. So I've got to get my thyroid taken out, apparently. So I go to see the specialist on Tuesday, and they'll probably get me in pretty quick to remove the thyroid. I'm just hoping it's not before my girls' night next Sunday, or if it is, Heather and Betty can do all the talking and I'll just go like this. But I think I'll still be able to talk. It'll just be a bit sore. That's all. Yeah, I will, Dr. Deb. I'll let everybody know. I'm pretty sure I'll be sorted. It'll be all good. I'm not, as Enzo knows, I'm not really that worried. It is what it is. And I said before, the only thing that annoys me is I'm going to have to start taking stupid tablets if they take my thyroid out, because the thyroid is the most, you really need your thyroid. It just helps produce all the hormones that your body needs to survive. So that means that I've got to take a medication. I don't know, probably a tablet or something. I've got to take a medication on a daily basis. I have trouble taking medication at any given time. So like I get up in the morning and I forget stuff, and then I think the next day, I didn't take my blood pressure tablet yesterday, or oops a daisy. So yeah, but anyway, it'll be all right. I'm right. It's all good. So yeah, but I'll keep you posted. So thank you today to everybody. Thank you, Tanya, for giving me the membership and the $10 super chat. That was awesome. And Kaz is already gone, so thank you to her. And Jaya gifted a membership as well, so that was nice to see that I've got some new members. And what's Kibba saying? Karen, if you want to see pics of my throat after I had a lymph node removed to anticipate what your neck would look, I'm pretty sure. Look, I'm pretty sure it'll be tiny, and it's about here on your neck there. So from memory, I think they cut across and then they just open it up and do what they got to do. So, they're pretty good now. She'll be right. I'm just worried I won't be able to be as normal and chatty as normal, because it might be, but I'm talking now and it only vibrates. I think it'll be more for swallowing, that it'll be a bit annoying, but there you go. But I'm losing weight. Did I tell you that, Enzo? I'll go in a minute, guys. But I've lost 7 kilograms in 8 weeks. So there you go. And that's all from, all I've done is cut down the amount I eat. So I'm having one main meal a day, which isn't very big, just in a small plate. And it's usually something full of veggies and meat every day. And then I have a piece of fruit in the morning, and of an evening I might have, I'd get these little protein puddings. And that's it. And it's coming off, and I'm not fancying anything sweet. So, there you go. Is it, Dr. Deb? Just 2 small tablets. Do you do it too, Dr. Deb? There you go. See, I knew if I said
all
something.
that it is. That all it is to replace that an entire bodily organ is a couple of pills.
Yeah, but I don't know if it replaces it sufficiently. But it looks like, but we'll wait and see. Who knows? The specialist might turn around and say that they can go in and just take a little portion. Who knows? But, because what a GP says, or a general practitioner, or a regular doctor says, can vary differently from what the specialist says. So we'll see. We'll wait and see. Karen Little really fading away. Yes, I'm fading away. A shadow. Oh, I don't want to get to a shadow. Thanks, Maisie. Well, guys, I'm going to go, because I've said now for the last 7 minutes I'm going. And this has been awesome. Well, I've had a great chat. What about you, Enzo? Been fun?
I've had a fantastic time, and I'm sorry I won't be here next week, but I'll be having contact in the dessert.
Oh, there we go. Dr. Deb has had to do it as well. Yes, do let us know how you go with contact in the dessert. I want to know what they got. Take photos. Lots of photos, and if you get an opportunity to talk to someone and even just record their voice or something, if they'll talk to you and tell you an interesting story, say, do you mind if I tape the story so I don't lose it? So that'd be pretty cool. So we won't see Enzo this weekend coming. So next Sunday we won't see Enzo, but it will be a girls' live feed, and no eye candy. I'll see if I can get someone to drop in for you, Tanya. Okay, I'll see if I can get eye candy for 10 minutes. Okay, I'll see who I can find. I don't want to disappoint you. Look at Enzo, he's jealous. What? I'm the eye candy. I can just put a picture of you up, Enzo.
My bobblehead guy.
Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm going to go, and thank you again, everybody, for being here. It's been awesome, and I will see you next Sunday, unless something goes wrong. But I should be here next Sunday. I plan to be here next Sunday, so I'll talk to you then. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.